just a touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Of e-pharmacies in India is under a cloud of uncertainty. The High Courts of Delhi and Madras have placed a ban on the sale of medicines online, citing privacy and safety concerns. The courts have also directed the central government to come up with regulations to allow e-pharmacies to operate in India. Now, these rulings, of course, come as a big blow to the online pharma space, with e-pharmacies having raised over $100 million in funding this year. So are these concerns justified, and what is the future of the e-pharma space? To discuss all this and more, I'm joined today by Dilip Shah, who's Secretary General of the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance. We also have Dharmil, Sheth, who's co-founder of Pharmacies, an online pharmacy. And joining us from Chennai is Mr. K.K. Selvan, the General Secretary of the Tamil Nadu Chemists and Druggists Association, who are the petitioners against this sale of drugs online. So we have all sides of this debate today, which will be represented on the show. Let's begin with Mr. Sheth. How big of a blow are these two orders from the Madras and the Delhi High Courts, and what does it mean for the entire space and your business as well?
Sure. So there was an interim order passed by the Chennai government, Chennai High Court, back in November start, and we intervened in the PIL, and the intent is to clarify our model for how it operates. Obviously, there are good players, there might be some bad players, but the intention is to discriminate between the legit players and the non-legit players. And I think that's what we've been actively trying to do, even with the regulators. We've been actively involved while the draft regulations were being framed. Yes. And I think we are nearly there in terms of getting the framework for online pharmacies to operate in India.
But meanwhile, Mr. Sheth, meanwhile, pharmacies have been operating. They already have been operating, they're already servicing customers, and these are some very serious concerns that the High Court has talked about. They've talked about validity of prescriptions, they've talked about the right medication reaching patients. Do you think that this is a big lacune in the way companies such as yours have been functioning so far?
Fundamentally, the model, the way it operates is it's a channel of communication between the pharmacy and the patients. The patient, uploads a prescription, sends it to the retailer verifies, validates, and then, delivers the order. The retailer already is governed by the current Drugs and Cosmetics Act and licensed by the state FDA. So there is no point of, not having any validity of the model. We are completely compliant with the current law. Not having sort of, the word online makes it seem that it might be legal, but that's not the case. Even SEDESCO has responded to the Madras High Court. The regulators have gone on record stating that the model that online pharmacies have, it's not an illegal model. Okay. So we just want to clarify. Yeah. We will want to clarify with the court. We are going to the court and we'll be appealing to hear us out.
I'm sure.
Understand the model, how it is, and I think, there should be a positive outcome by the end of the process.
Sure, that's the legal process, but we're discussing the core issues here of a different model of business. This is also interesting because we've seen this kind of a tussle in almost every other retail space where an online player has come in and, in a sense, challenged the traditional players. Mr. Selvan, is that the case here? That your brick and mortar chemists are feeling threatened by this this new model of delivery of medication, and you fear that they will come in with their deeper discounts and eat away into your business. Is that at the core of this entire debate?
I think
The question is for Mr. Selvan, please. The question is for Mr. Selvan, please. Yeah, the question is for Mr. Selvan, please.
It's actually a fear of the
Can I talk?
right?
Yes, Mr. Sheth, the question is for Mr. Selvan, please. Please come in, Mr. Selvan.
Shall I?
Yes.
Okay, fine. First of all, we have to welcome moderation always. There is no doubt about it. But when we are welcoming the moderation, but anyhow, we should not violate any law in any country. In which country we are living, we should obey the law and regulations of that country. That's what the first thing all the citizens should do. Particularly business people should not violate any law. Whether there is any law provision for till today online pharmacy, either any law is there. No law is there for any online pharmacy, any uploading the prescriptions in the web portal, or dispensing the medicine, or sale is happening through the online. There is no law provision. First of all, there should be a law provision. Otherwise, they are simply all the online players are telling that draft rule is there. Draft rule is, whether draft rule is a rule, that's not a rule. Draft rule is a draft rule only. So that's what our Honorable High Court of Chennai yesterday given a very good judgment.
Mr. Selvan, I understand that. I understand that. But then the question is, how are all of these companies functioning for so long? It's not yesterday that these companies started functioning.
Government should answer. We had made a lot of complaints in lot of various places of pan-India level. In more states, we have given you so many complaints. But how? This is what our government should say. That's you should ask in the body of the government peoples only. You have to ask to the DGCA and health service.
My specific question to you, Mr. Selvan, is you made the point about that there is no law and that may change tomorrow. The government may come out with a regulation. Will your concerns then go away? Or are your concerns deeper? If there's tomorrow a law saying that we allow uploading of prescriptions, will all your concerns go away?
If law is allowing to uploading the prescription, we will be the largest player in pharma chain in pan-India and as well as in universal level also.
What are your prime concerns today? Is your concern really that the safety of patients may be at risk, or is the concern that e-pharma sites could take away your business?
What you are asking?
Is your real concern that these online sites could take away your business?
No, we are not worried about that. We will, if the government is going to be permit the law, if they are going to give you a guidance and law for the online pharmacy, means we are the very big online pharma in universal level, because we are the 8.5 lakh chemists, sir. We are unitedly, we are doing business, and we are all of our members, which is under the All India Chemist and Druggist Association. Then no doubt that we are the single largest online pharma player in the universe.
Okay, so Mr. Sheth,
we are ready to.
Sure, Mr. Sheth, so do you want to respond to that? Here, Mr. Selvan says that once there is a law, everything is legitimate, and this association of chemists will also go online.
Yeah. So absolutely, and in fact, the model that we have, we in fact work with the brick and mortar stores. So there are close to about 200 retail pharmacies that a lot of online pharmacies would be working with. I think more. The number would be close to about 500. So, and it's growing. But again, we are less than 1% of the entire industry. So I don't think it's something that we are snatching away the business. I think it's fear of the unknown. We really are always asking in fact the association folks or the regulators that what is the problem that they have, because the core is always missing. We try to sort of dive deeper into the fundamental issue, but it's difficult to understand because even as per the current law of the land, as per our model, I think we are compliant with the IT Act, and as per the Drugs and Cosmetics Act as well, we are not flouting any of the laws. So
okay, I want to bring in Mr. DG Shah into this conversation because Mr. Shah, the Pharmaceutical Producers Association has been involved with their inputs even when these draft regulations came out in August. How do you see this entire debate and this fight right now?
See, invariably, e-commerce has moved at a pace faster than regulators can catch up with it, not only in pharma, but in all spheres. And that's where the innovation takes place. If you depend on regulators to frame a law first and then set up the business, the world doesn't work like that. And we have seen this in all the major innovations that has taken place world around. So we need to recognize that. Secondly, we welcome any competition in the field of distribution because that gives us a consumer a better choice and companies a wider space to operate in. Experience has shown that brick and mortar stores have boycotted companies' products, have forced companies to seek their approval for a product launch or for appointing a stockist or removing a stockist. Now, all this would be balanced by e-pharmacies. But e-pharmacy must necessarily address the patient concerns. And regulator concern should only be patient-centric. Now, what is it that really matters? What matters is privacy of data. What matters is a correct prescription being honored. There are also instances where e-pharmacy has a doctor on his payroll and get it substituted by doctor signing the prescription. Now, till we have a product quality which is uniform across from all manufacturers, this substitution will not help patient. It could in fact be injurious to patient.
No, so that's an important point. I think I should come to Mr. Sheth on that point. This authenticity of prescription is definitely a concern and an issue, Mr. Sheth, which the industry so far, and it's a very small nascent industry, but there is no clear answer. How do you know what the patient is uploading is a real prescription or not? How do you know it's not the same prescription being used again and again, or there's no duplication?
So that's a fantastic question.
So in fact, that's something which not just the online channel but online offline together we need a solution to the same problem because people can actually buy medicines maybe multiple times over the same prescription over the counter, or it can be online pharmacies, and that is something even the health ministry has sort of thought over it, and there are solutions they've proposed which will require, a common platform or a seamless flow of information from the doctor to the pharmacy, wherein the prescription doesn't go to the hands of the patient. Now, unfortunately, that requires a lot of technology adoption by the doctors and by the supply chain as well. Even in the US, where the prescription doesn't go in the hands of the patient, there is a different problem of doctor shopping. So people go out and shop for prescriptions and then they purchase medicine. So this is a very, very, genuine problem, which, only if we move online or bring in a lot of digital sort of technology adoption across various stakeholders, only then we'll be able to address this.
Yeah.
There is no other solution right now.
Mr. Shah, the other big concern, and I see as a reason for this clash between online and offline pharmacies, is the discount factor, isn't it? I mean, we've not talked about it so far, but the fact is that a lot of online companies bring in new customers saying that we'll give you up to a 15-20% discount on your bills, and people with chronic illnesses who need to reorder expensive medicines again and again are definitely want to avail of that.
See, what has already happened in the market, that the moment e-pharmacies came in the larger cities, the brick and mortar stores have started giving discounts to select customers on a repeat purchases.
Yeah.
So the patient has already seen the benefit of competition coming in. This will continue to happen because there is a margin of 10 and 20% between the wholesaler and retailer which manufacturer gives. Out of this 30% margin, e-pharmacies are willing to part with half of it and keep only 15%. So the norm is 15% discount e-pharmacies start giving to the patient. Now this would definitely hurt the offline stores, and though Mr.
Mr. Selvan?
Mr. Selvan said that that's not real issue.
Yeah.
The real issue, the business issue lies there.
Yeah, so I want to ask Mr. Selvan this question, because I've learned this from Mr. Shah right now. There's a 30% discount that drug manufacturers are giving chemists. Why aren't we seeing it? Why aren't we seeing it?
DG Shah rightly said. So why that out of 30%, e-pharmacies are ready to do 15% of the discount? Yeah, same thing happened when Coca-Cola and Pepsi was introduced in India about 20 years back. When they entered into the India, that Coca-Cola, which was reduced his price lesser than our which brand, Gold Spot or Limca, lesser than 50 paise. I think that time 2 rupees 50 paise was the bottle cost. So they have sold their drink for the 2 rupees. So entirely they demolished all the Indian peoples. They ran away from all the Indian peoples from the market. So they acquired all the Indian market. Now, unfortunately, we are paying 1 rupee more when we are going to purchase the Coca-Cola or Pepsi or same thing, something cool drinks. We are paying for the chillness of for refrigeration purpose. We are paying 1 rupee more. So this is what is going to be happen in India. Then why
Selvan,
one of the wholesale
Coca-Cola and Pepsi is not the right comparison. These are medicines, life-saving medicines in some time.
This is what going to be happen. All the multinational people are running.
My question is simple. Are you passing on the discounts? Let me get Mr. Sheth in. Is this calculation with Mr. Shah has explained the correct one, that there is a 30% discount which comes from the manufacturer to the pharmacy? You guys, and by you guys I mean industry-wide, are ready to part with up to 15% to lure in new customers. You're still sitting on 15%.
I would say that, as per, our understanding, the supply chain gets approximately 30 to 35% of discounts or margins, I would say. There are offline stores who are giving a 20% discount, like, the largest pharmacy chain in India, they are providing a 20% discount in Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad. There are some online pharmacies who are giving 15%, 18%, 20% discount. So that's the business strategy. Obviously, if it doesn't make business sense, then these would all collapse, right? Because, certain processes and, practices are bringing in a lot of efficiencies. Only then there are these discounts which people are able to pass on to the customers in the form of savings. So I don't think it is, sort of a bad strategy or a strategy to kill others, but it's just about how efficient.
I mean, your strategy is very interesting at some point, but at the end of the day, you would care about what your customers are getting. I mean, we care about what the customers are getting. And Mr. Selvan, you will have to explain this a little bit more. This Coca-Cola Pepsi comparison will not fly beyond a point.
Yeah.
If there is a big fat margin and there is a player willing to come and give it. Some chemists do give it if they know the customer for a long time, but it shouldn't be a matter of choice or random selection of who will get this discount. If the discount is there, someone is willing to give it, then it's only fair that consumers/patients have the option, don't you think?
See, here in India, especially for pharma, our government is fixing the margins, and the government is every year they are fixing the price for each and every medicine, sir. So here, what is happening for wholesaler, they are giving 10% margin, then retailers as well as they are giving 20% margin. Well, we are giving to our customers also up to 10% or maximum 12% according to the purchase level and according to the customers. We are also giving operating the discounts according to the customers. But where is the availability? We are serving around about 6.5 retail chemists are serving across India. We are not in the purpose of only earning. We are serving also with our customers. So even night 12 o'clock there in the remote village of India, like in Kashmir or Kanyakumari, we are ready to. They are coming to our house also. They are tapping our doors, and we are going to open the shops in.
No, I mean that's a good point. The delivery and services.
If these people are going to be tied, then
they are delivering it home. I don't know, Mr. Shah, you want to comment on this? It's a strange thing because the point and one of the lure of ordering medicines online is because someone will deliver it to your house. You don't have to go to the chemist or call and hope that they have someone free to send it to you. It's very it's not something you know for sure. Here with an online pharmacy, it's transactional. You know that you're paying for that service as well.
Welcome, but more important is Mr. Selvan made it clear. Reaching in the remotest corner of the India, a medicine is a great service which the 7.5 lakhs chemists have provided to the country and to the patient. Moving with the times, we need to change that and provide an option to the patient that if he is not in a position to walk up to the chemist, because we must not think of chemist like in city of Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta. As you go down to class 2 and class 3 and class 4 cities, the chemists are further away.
Yeah.
And patient convenience has to be borne in mind, one thing. Secondly, ensuring that right medicine is dispensed. See, prescription is with doctor, but dispensing is with the chemist. So right medicine is dispensed and no substitution takes place either in the online or offline pharmacy, because we don't have medicine of same quality as of now. And thirdly, privacy of data. In offline stores, compiling the data is very difficult.
Yeah.
And all prescriptions, even if are kept by chemist, he will not part with it, and it's very difficult to tabulate. Online, the data becomes easily accessible.
Yeah.
So these are the three key questions. But what we have not addressed is, last 3 to 4 years, government has been discussing rules for e-pharmacy. Why we don't wake up till it becomes a crisis? Today, after Delhi High Court, Madras High Court has also banned this. We must address this question.
Yeah.
That pharmacy stores have given their input to the CDSCO. E-pharmacies are given. As a manufacturer, we have given our inputs. And why still government has not been able to finalize these rules?
Yeah.
And more importantly, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, because in the advanced countries, the substitution, the privacy of data, all this has been addressed.
Yeah, there are models. Yeah, no, that's a fair thing. There are models out there. We need to get on with it. Holding back for technology is not going to work beyond a point. But I think that's a very valid point you made, Mr. Shah, that there was no need for any governments to sit on these regulations for so long when you have a situation where there's hundreds of e-pharmacies already up and running. There's investment coming in, and suddenly you're asked to shut shop because there are no rules. Come on, let's bring the rules quicker than we need to. Thank you so much, Mr. Selvan and Mr. Sheth, of course, Mr. Shah, for joining us on the conversation
I want
today.
to record here one thing.
Okay.
Finally.
Yes, Mr. Selvan.
Yeah. First, well said by DG Shah that portal must be first of all created. That should be created by the government of India. So we are enjoying the GST portal really very well for the past 7-8 months. Till GST portal, we can't. So many problems are there. Till central government of India are not able to rectify all those problems. First of all, we should have this, keep on this mind. First of all the prescriptions should be uploaded in a common portal. This is a very, 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 very important thing in this thing. Secondary is a privacy of the data. That should be very, very, very big question of that. So this should be that should be keep confidential. So that assurance should be given by one more thing. Pangea report that was happened in 2002, 1 year back. That report was taken by the FD of US government that shows that 500 illegal online portal are selling in US itself. So developed country also situation is like that.
Okay.
So how in India, what's going to be happen if it's going to be introduced in India?
No, we need new regulations, but we have to see how workable they are. Even uploading all prescriptions online, you don't want to play with people's lives and their health and create a situation which may make it more cumbersome. So it all has to be balanced.
We will be challenged in the court of law.
Okay.
Till lost.
We'll wait and see where it goes. But again, e-pharmacies will have to find a way to survive after two very crucial High Court orders from Madras and Delhi. The ball is now in the government's court to come up with a set of regulations.